Hey, and welcome back to another tutorial in Illustrator. My name is David with Black Cap Design. Today we're going to be going over our type on a path. So first we're going to start off with a new blank page in Illustrator. And once we have that page open, we'll go ahead and go directly to our pen tool. And then just when you're in Illustrator, feel free to just make a random swoopy kind of shape with many valleys and hills. And then what you want to do is grab your type tool and click and hold until you see the type on a path tool. Once you have that, select an area where you want to start, and then from there automatically Illustrator will fill in some standard text that they have. We're going to go ahead and enter in our own text at this point, and from here we'll go ahead and select the text. You can double click it with the Pathfinder tool, or you can go ahead and go into the type character window to adjust your type height, kerning, width. And then from here you can take your shape and you can move it around. Using the white arrow tool, we can go ahead and select our nodes on our path individually and just adjust what we're working with. As you can see, we can pull it down, we can stretch out our nodes to create whatever shape that our creative project needs. And from here we can just kind of play around with it and see how things look. So as you can see, you can pretty much adjust just about anything you want. Then the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and show you the same path tool on a square object. Holding down shift, you can go ahead and get yourself a perfect square. And then go from here, we'll go right back to our type on a path tool. Select the area where you want to start. I'm going to start right here in the middle. As you can see, you can start wherever you want. I'll undo and I'll start here on the corner. Your first leg of text will go ahead and start wherever you decide you want that to begin. And we're going to go ahead and enter our text and see how this reacts. So if this is what you're looking for, you can go ahead and move your text around. There are some bars that are connected to the type on the path tool that will give you editability on where everything stays and where you can move things to. Then you can also just move around the shape that you're working with as well. Just as long as you're highlighting the shape, you can work with that. Changing the character of the shape, you can use the radius corners for the rectangle here just to see how something looks when you make that change. Now from here we'll go ahead and see how things work on another object. Now we're going to go to our ellipse tool and create our circle. Just holding down shift will give you a perfect circle. And we'll go ahead and go directly to our path tool again, this time deciding on where we're going to start, right here on the corner, and typing in our message, hello world, how are you today? And then we'll go ahead and see how that works. And then in here you can see these other rectangular objects, and double clicking on our type on the path tool, you'll get our type on the path options. Here you can flip the current setting, which is the rainbow, and showing in preview here you can see what happens when you flip it. So it just shows it on the inside of the circle rather than the outside. Our skew option, as you can tell, skews the object to conform around the circle that you're working on. Our 3D ribbon gives us more of a 3D text that's hanging around the edge of our circle. Our stair step shows step by step our letters in both flipped and regular versions. And then gravity looks like it just holds it to the very baseline of the object that you have. So in case you need something to hold on to the edge of something, then that's a way to get that effect. And you can see with using the ascender, it's keeping it away from the edge as well as the descender. So this is kind of the type options that you have, the effect you get with the actual type and not objects. And the center line holds on to the middle there, while the baseline obviously holds on to the very base. And you can see between the descender and the baseline, we have a different kind of distance it holds from the actual line of the object that it's on. And now we can check out our spacing options. Right now it's at auto, but we're going to go ahead and see what it looks like with difference. We'll put it into rainbow and our descender, and we're going to go ahead and see if we increase this. By increasing this, it looks like we get more space from the edge of the text away from the end of the text. So it's almost like a kerning option. Increasing it in descender mode looks like it removes our text for us. So it's always good to kind of play around with these options, give yourself some ideas on how to work with them, and to see how they'll match up and work within your project parameters. As you can tell, we're coming back to our rainbow descender option, and that's where we started with, and we'll go ahead and wrap up there. Now, for any other further questions about these options, you can feel free to leave any comments below, and I will be happy to make any additional videos to clarify any specific parameters. And as you can see, we are not going to go over the polygon or the star tool. Those are basically the exact same thing. So, thank you for watching. If you continue to watch on, we do have a little bit of a project to follow this, and hope you stick around to follow along. Now, let's try this out. So we're going to go ahead and create ourselves a fictitious brand. We're going to call it Red's Mean Sauce. It's a hot sauce. And we're just going to go ahead and give ourselves some nice fun font choices to play with here, and to create a bit of a label so we can use it in another kind of packaging project. So right now I'm just kind of playing around with the senders and descenders and seeing kind of what spacing I'm really looking for. I think I'm going to settle on this. This looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Now obviously we want to add more things to this, so let's go ahead and get some more text in here. We're just going to go ahead and select our ellipse tool one more time, and from the last object we made, which was the circle, it's going to go ahead and keep that same circle shape at the same dimension as before. So we're going to go ahead and use that and apply that to the inside of this area. If you select the text area, we're going to go ahead and get that default text in here, but we're going to go ahead and add some colorful language to see if we can spice up this packaging idea. So with "You've Been Warned," we're going to just go ahead and change that to title case in our character palette, and let's see what other fonts we have here. You know, for me, I like to be playful with my fonts. Obviously, depending on the packaging you're making, you want something a little bit more sophisticated. You know, probably going to go with a serif thin font, or something more futuristic, a sans serif with a maybe a wide spacing or kerning on that. For this, I'm just kind of going playful, kind of getting in the mood for Halloween or just fun times. So we got "You've been warned," kind of a little bit of a bloody text. We're going to go ahead and rotate this, which we can just do by rotating the object, or we can try to use the tool. Depending on how comfortable you are with using the type on the path tool, getting used to where those nodes are and how to control them may be a little difficult. I find it easier to just rotate, especially if you have a circle, just rotating the entire object, which will get you the same results. The type on the path tool options or tools are a little hard to see sometimes, therefore making it a little bit difficult to maneuver unless you're like really up close or you're really able to see everything that's going on around it. So now we're just gonna go ahead and add a star in here, giving it that kind of official look, kind of like a Texas hot sauce or something like that. Pulling that down here. Again, I'm just playing around here just to see what it'll look like. And I just reset my bounding box there so I kind of make sure that things stay straight. For me, I like to visually see my outline box of what's going on. And now I'm going to add an additional path on top of this one and give it a little bit of an outline. I like my outline thick, and now I'm just going to go ahead and pull that just the star and the outline shape a little bit further down to kind of give it more balance to the whole dynamic of this hot sauce label. Now I'm kind of playing with this. I'm thinking it needs something more, probably another circular object to kind of keep this all together. So we'll probably take this and kind of rebalance everything out first. So again, just taking that shape, you can do this, or if you are in your Pathfinder, your type on the path tool, you can use these path tools to adjust where your text is landing. Right now I'm selecting the center tool, which gives me a little bit of balance. If I hold it out on the outside of the circular shape, it'll stay on the outside. And my guide is kind of showing me now that it's a bit more balanced, so I know it's going to line up fine. I'm going to do the same here. It's pretty close, but I'm going to go ahead and play with this a little more using those same tools. I'm just going to adjust where exactly it lands. And looking at this, I'm thinking I'm probably going to play with this design a little bit more and move this text maybe down here to the bottom. Yeah, I think that gives it a better look. And I'm still balancing out, looking at the shape here. So probably going to give it some more spacing. Increase my the spacing of the letters here, and still using my type on the path tool to adjust the location. And as I get into this, I'm going to go ahead and move this shape back up and give myself a little bit more space, kind of rebalancing it all out. And again, I'm seeing that I need an additional shape for some additional information here. So I'm going to go ahead and create for myself another circle. This circle has the exact same dimensions as I had put in before, and we're going to go ahead and add it right on top of the other shape. And now we're going to offset that path by going to path, offset path, and I'm visually going to eyeball this to where I think it's just going to be enough of an offset. I don't need to change anything else. And using the top shape, I'm going to come in here and select Pathfinder tool. And then with the Pathfinder tool, I'm going to go ahead and knock that shape out to give me an empty circle on the inside. And I'm just going to hold down Shift and keep that shape as uniform as possible. Now, looking at this in outline mode, I'm going to create myself another rectangle that's going to go across the baseline of the red's mean sauce. And then I'm just going to verify that it's going to be completely covering the object I want it to. So over in my align panel, I'll center that up, selecting the shape and the other shape I want to subtract out of. I will break that out, subtract it, ungroup, and remove the top shape. Now we have this bottom shape I can work with and put some text in here or some other element. Let's try some text. I'm thinking we'll just go ahead and use the red's mean sauce text here, and we're going to copy this and we're going to paste in place. And we're just going to go ahead and rotate the text right out of there. So it's going to be right where we want it. And then from here, I'm going to go into my text tool. I'll preview what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip that and make sure it's going to be on the outside of the circle using the ascender and hitting OK here. Checking to see if that's what it's going to be, make sure that it's going to line up for what I want. And let's add to this triple threat hot. I don't think it needs anything else here, so we'll just leave that at triple threat hot. And once we got that, let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what it looks like. It's going to have to get smaller, I know that. And it looks like Illustrator had a little bit of an issue with that. So we'll just undo, redo again, and see what we can get rid of that little glitchy thing that just happened. There we go. Now let's go ahead and reduce our size so we know it fits within that white half circle that we've created. And now we're going to go over here to character. We're going to give it some more space between the letters. And once that's done, we'll scoot this back over using the center node of the type on the path tool. We'll try to do our best with getting it as centered as possible. Drop a guide. Looks like we're pretty much on point for that. And then for this, we're going to go ahead and change out the text for white and change our half circle back to black. And I like working in black and white. Again, it gives you a good idea of what your design is going to look like in just about any kind of combination. But let's go ahead and add some red in this as well. And I think we're looking pretty good for our quick little project, and using our new found type on the path skills. I believe that we've done a good job getting this done with a quick spell check, making sure all of our text is good. Change that up. And I think we're sitting pretty. Let's go ahead and get rid of this outline stroke here, and there we go. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.